Hello and welcome back to another episode of Otafu Susume, or Recommendations for My Otaku Spouse. I'm Wesley.
And I'm Jen.
So let's get things started. We are back with another episode.
I mean, I think people have realized that by now. They're listening to the episode.
No. That's just magically started playing from their podcast provider of choice, and they had no idea why or how.
Or who we are.
Well, hopefully they know who we are. They probably don't.
They probably don't.
So we are here today to talk about Disney.
Yay!
Is that really a response to this?
Well, I like Disney.
Yeah.
You like Disney. We both like Disney.
These are true facts.
And this is kind of what led to this whole thing.
Thing.
Yeah.
Lovely. So we decided to watch the new Disney movie, Wish. Disney's Centennial.
Yep.
They haven't made 100 movies, but they've been at it for 100 years.
They've probably made more than 100 at this rate.
Well, not that they're counting.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they count like 61 or something.
Oh, the Disney animated ones?
Yes, because that's not counting the direct-to-DVD ones, that's not counting the Pixar ones, that's not counting... They've got like...
A list. Okay.
A canon. A canonical list.
Okay.
Not that you'd be able to tell, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Anyway.
And Wish is one of them.
Wish is the most recent one, yes.
And, well, you say most recent, but I believe it came out last year at some point.
That's still the most recent.
That's true, yeah. But, I mean, we didn't... we are normally the kinds of people that would go to the cinema and watch Disney movies, when there isn't a plague
Typically,
happening.
Yes. I think this one was their Thanksgiving release last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we...
To go very American up for a brief moment there.
Decided not to.
We did. We did not go see this in theaters.
Because the trailers kind of looked kind of meh, and people's reactions were kind of meh. So when it came out on streaming services, we're like, oh, let's give it a go.
Yeah. It didn't come out last Thanksgiving in Japan in theaters. It came out more recent than that. But by that point, we'd gotten the general vibe.
Yeah.
And the general vibe was not positive.
Yeah.
And our reaction to the trailers was not positive.
But being Disney nerds, we kind of... I wanted to watch it.
We were gonna see it. We just...
Didn't want to spend money on it.
Didn't want to spend cinema price money on it.
Cinema price money.
Yeah.
So Wish is about a girl who...
A 17, almost 18-year-old girl.
In a couple of months...
That's why I said 17, almost 18.
I know. Who wants to become the king's apprentice. And
for entirely selfish reasons.
Yes. And
she claims not to, but...
Yes. And then kind of things go wrong. She doesn't become the king's apprentice. She accidentally summons a star, and then hijinks ensues.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess the basic idea is that this is a world where on your 18th birthday, the king manifests your deepest wish from you. You forget about it. And then whenever he needs a boost to his popularity ratings, he picks one of the wishes and he grants it.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell anyone that it's to boost popularity, but... And at the start of the movie, he seems like a pretty popular guy.
Yeah, everyone loves him.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So we have thoughts. That we discussed during, after, and then again this morning.
Yeah.
So we were like, we should probably record a podcast about this so we can talk about our thoughts some more.
Yeah. So welcome back to Otafu Susume.
I'm sure you didn't miss us.
So, talking about the beginning of the movie, I guess we can start at the beginning.
Yes.
The polite way to put this is that this movie is a love letter to past Disney movies.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to... that's a polite way to put it, yeah.
That's the polite way to put it.
Yeah. I should probably warn people that this will be full of spoilers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. We have no qualms about giving spoilers for this one.
No, which is a review all of itself. But. So with that in mind, it opens up with the storybook opening. Like full Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White storybook opening.
Once upon a time.
I think in those ones the storybook was actually physical, though. I don't think it was in this. I think it was...
No, it was physical.
Was it?
Yeah. It was a book on a table and it opens and the pages turn.
Well, I mean, you can animate that.
Oh, wait, like real physical?
I think in the old movie there's a real physical book.
Oh.
And I don't think it is in this one. So they're doing like the callback to that, but I don't think they actually had a book that opened.
I didn't realize that they were physical back in the day. Shows you how much I paid attention when I was a child.
I think they are. I haven't gone back to check on this, but that's what my brain's telling me.
Okay.
So yes, we start off with the storybook opening that explains everything you need to know about King Magnifico and his wife, who is such a non-character, I don't remember her name, and the founding of this island city of Rosas in the Mediterranean somewhere. I guess the Mediterranean's not that large.
Yeah, which...
Actually, it's pretty huge, but...
We'll come back to the Mediterranean part.
So we then finish the storybook opening and get into the movie proper, where we launch into a musical number that describes King Magnifico, his nameless wife, and the city of Rosas.
Yes. Again. We between that, we kind of get a little bit with the main character, Asha, and her family. And then she's like, oh, I need to go off and do a tour. And then she bursts into song.
Yes, so we start off with the main character lying to her family.
Yes.
And then bursting into song to tell us everything we already know about from the storybook opening.
Oh, and upsetting her grandma because she won't bake a cake for him.
Was that her grandma? I thought that was...
Grandfather, granddad.
The granddad, yes.
Did I say grandma?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, too much Encanto.
Yes.
Hey. So she lies to her family, upsets her grandfather, pretends that his birthday doesn't matter, and then leaves to burst into song to tell us everything we already know because we already have the storybook opening.
Yep.
Brilliant. Do we learn anything about our main character from the song?
Nope.
Do we learn anything about the city that we didn't already know from the song?
Nope.
Do we learn anything about any other characters from the song?
There are people who really want to join the kingdom.
So no one important?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we learn about any characters' motivations from this song?
No.
Do we... I don't know anymore. Is there a purpose for this song to be in the movie other than the fact that it's a Disney movie, so they had to put a song in at the beginning?
Nope.
Okay, brilliant.
I mean, we do get to see the city of Rosa in all its bland glory, with nothing in the background.
That takes rendering power. And if there's anything we know from recent movies like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Puss in Boots' Last Wish, people don't care about details. They just want artsy-fartsy style. Now, it's how artsy-fartsy style in those two beautiful, incredible movies turned into, let's just turn off half of the rendering passes on our movie. I don't know. But I'm sure some guy somewhere said this will save us a lot of money if we just don't bother with all the fancy rendering.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Who needs detail in a massive city full of millions of people?
You don't want it to feel alive or anything.
No. Don't worry. It felt dead.
Yeah. I wish it didn't.
But then we get a little more. We get Asha going to talk to her friends.
Great. What do they talk about?
King Magnifico.
Oh, great. Does he do anything special?
Something about wishes and trapping them, and how now one of their friends who's 18 is boring as all heck.
Well, yeah, he's an adult now. Everyone knows that when you're a kid and you become an adult, you become boring.
Exactly. And the city of Rosa.
Do they care at all about the fact that their friend is boring now? Or is it just played as a joke?
Yeah, it's just played as a joke.
Okay, that's true, because the main character has more important stuff going on.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. They do introduce the fact that she wants to be the king's apprentice.
Ah, right. That's why she skipped out on her duties to show off the island that people are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which actually, why is she even doing that tour in the first place? Oh, to do the musical number.
To be the musical number.
Right, yes.
It works so well in Encanto.
Yeah. Let's pause here and look at that. Because I got such a strong feeling of Encanto from this opening song. But like you said, it doesn't actually introduce anything new that the storybook opening didn't already introduce.
It's just sterile.
Yeah. And we were talking about it this morning, how in Encanto you have introduction to the family and the town and Mirabel and why the main character Mirabel has like a complex anxiety about how she fits in with the family. So it has like all of these layers to it.
Like, yeah, the whole inferiority complex just playing up, and the fact that
all these kids are going around going, what about Mirabel? Yeah. And
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And I don't even remember what the opening song in Wish sounded like. See,
that's my biggest damning complaint about, honestly, the whole movie. Is I don't remember. This is the first time I've walked out of a Disney movie and not remembered the songs.
Yeah.
Like any of them. I've been hearing, you said it was called Wish?
Wish.
The movie, obviously, but the main song.
I don't know what the main song is called.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever the main song is called, which is supposed to be the big stirring one. I have heard that in TV commercials, in train stations, in department stores. Everywhere. Just like it's nonstop. The English version, the Japanese version. It was during the Kohaku Utagassen, the year-end song contest on the NHK. It's been everywhere. And despite that, I can't hum it.
Yeah. Much
less knowing the lyrics. I can't even hum it.
Yeah, actually, because with this morning we were talking about Encanto and
Moana.
I had those songs in my head all day, and they have completely erased any wisp of Wish music that I would have had.
There wasn't even a wisp for me. Like, the movie just went by and ended. And that, for a Disney movie, that's the most damning complaint I can put against it, is I don't remember your songs.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a lyric sheet. I can probably sing any Disney song from the past at least 30 years, no problem. But God help me if you ask me to sing anything from this.
I think a couple of things about the songs that jumped out at me while we were watching the film was, one, they all kind of sounded the same. They had very similar, like, very fast rhythms to them that kind of sounded like they were trying to be Lin-Manuel Miranda, but clearly weren't Lin-Manuel Miranda.
The Wish version.
The Wish version, yeah.
Hey.
The watered-down version.
Sorry, it's a meme online.
Wish.
Like, there's Wish.com, which is a new place to get Chinese knockoff goods.
Oh, that's appropriate.
It is.
Okay.
Anyway.
And also the fact that, so in the musical, like, one of the big things about the Disney Renaissance movies was that they got in actual musical talent to make the songs. And their whole, I guess, their whole philosophy was a character starts building up their emotion, and then they talk, and when the emotion gets to a certain point, they start singing, and when it gets to a certain point, they start dancing. And that's like the musical formula.
Yeah, that's a clip that we saw on a bunch of Sideways videos, who unfortunately hasn't been making YouTube recently, but lots of great YouTube videos about music.
Yes.
And that was a quote from Ashman, who worked with Menken, who made all the songs I love.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see that again in the modern Disney movies that have been really successful, like Frozen, Tangled, Moana. They're musicals in that sense.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they just start singing when there needs to be a song. There's no build-up. There's no... Actually, there was the only point where there was build-up and tension was when the king has a bit of a hissy fit.
But it still wasn't a good song.
It still wasn't a good song.
And it was because it just... I guess we can get into that now if we want. It just feels like an instant heel turn where he has to be the villain, so he is the villain, but there's no basis for him to be the villain.
Yeah.
He just has to be, so he is. Which is just going to sound bad because a lot of my favorite villains just are villains, but they also...
They're villains because they're evil.
They're villains.
Yeah.
And he just turns into one because the movie needs one.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like I'm putting it really poorly, but...
So, to give some context, if we go back to the beginning of the film, they make this whole deal about how the king created this kingdom because his wish wasn't fulfilled, and they show a picture of him with a boat that was destroyed. And then when
like a kingdom burning, it was a burnt tapestry or something.
Well, no, when Ash is talking to him, he's looking at a burnt tapestry. But in a flashback in the beginning with the music book, there's like a boat in the background, I think. And... It's hard to remember, but I think that's what happens. And when Ash is talking to him, there's the whole tapestry, and then a corner of the tapestry is burnt. And I said, oh, that's probably going to come back at some point because they've made a big deal out of it. And what's in the missing corner?
Spoilers, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's a Chekhov's gun that they never use.
It never goes anywhere.
But they also, it's just a weak background. Like, you think he's doing this because he wants to protect everyone from disappointment, that the wishes will never come true.
He's doing it out of paranoia.
Yeah.
And he's doing it out of fear.
But how they frame it in the film is you're like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know exactly what happened in his past, but maybe they'll explain it, and they never do. So it's like he's built to be this good character at the beginning. He's not evil. He's not greedy.
He's looking out for the best of his people.
Yeah.
In the best way he knows how.
Yeah.
And then instantly they're like, oh, wait. I mean, so I remember we saw the first trailer for this a while back. And instantly, when plot details start to come out, because it's a trailer, everyone's going, the king's right.
Yeah.
You can't just grant every wish. We've all seen Bruce Almighty.
Yes,
That's not how... A lot of people make greedy, selfish wishes, and you can't grant them all. And so if this whole plot is he's picking and choosing, who is he to pick and choose? But also it's better than Asha's response to just grant every wish, which is how the first trailer made it look.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the movie was changed because of that or whatever.
But it feels I wonder if it was, because I feel like the animation changed as well.
Because it feels like someone went, oh, we need to make sure that people know that he's not right, that he's the villain. And so he just has this like total 180. And I know it's a cartoon, but he becomes so cartoonishly evil.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. He goes from... I'm looking out for my kingdom to, why the hell are you not respecting me? I deserve more respect. I'm going to turn to the powers of darkness.
Which is fine. I mean, the powers of darkness are pretty cool.
But up to that point, there's no reason for why he would be even tempted by the powers of darkness. And even his wife was like, hey, honey, that's a bad idea. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I won't. And then 5 seconds later, he's like, haha, powers of darkness. And the thing that cracked me up the most was when he's like, oh, I have this, study that only I can get into and no one else can come in here. But now that I'm evil, I'm going to open this hole in the ground and go into this cellar dungeon like evil study because I'm evil.
The super secret study.
That his wife then is like, hey, honey.
It's like literally designed as a dungeon, too.
It is.
It's a little bit on the nose, but they had to make... So the whole movie is chock full of Disney references.
Yes.
And they had to make the reference to the evil queen in Snow White with her lair.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the apple right there next to him when he's doing his evil bullshit.
How long has that been down there?
I don't know.
Yeah,
you never know when you need an evil apple.
It was just so out of the blue. And then I think one of the worst things was when the queen literally says at one point, oh, he's used the powers of evil and he can never come back from that. It's like he's been using it for less than a day.
How long has he been evil?
A day.
Oh, enchanted.
And then so...
The gift that never stops giving.
Because he's obviously evil and not redeemable, and they're, I'm guessing, 40 years of marriage and building a kingdom together means jack poop to her now.
Yeah, he has a quick heel turn, and she is a quick, I'm done with this shit. I'm getting mine now.
Yeah.
It's like the meme. It's the, what is it? Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss meme in a character.
And it's like when the villain finally gets his comeuppance, when King Magnifico finally gets his comeuppance, she doesn't care at all.
No, she's smug about it. She's queen now.
Just like
she doesn't have to be a consort or any of that bullshit.
Do you not
have belongs to her.
Any complicated emotions about the fact that the love of your life had... it's just like, what the heck? This doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, that's probably the most realistic part of the movie. If there's one thing I've learned over the past 8 years and 4 years of COVID is that people in power have absolutely no actual human emotions or relationships, and they're all just in it to get whatever they can for themselves.
You're not
Every
wrong.
person in power acts that way.
Okay.
She put on the facade of being a nice queen, but as soon as she had her chance, she was going to get hers. That's the only realistic part of this movie. That and the fact that the 17-year-old girl is selfish as fuck, but makes it out that she's actually doing it for the better of everyone.
Okay, we'll get to that. But I just want to just focus on this whole...
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's the only realistic part of the movie.
Like, if the movie had been about power corrupts, that would have actually been good.
Yeah, you could have done a lot with that.
Yeah.
They didn't, but you could have.
And they could have done it so easily in this case, but they didn't, yeah. But yeah, Asha. Okay, it's kind of, this ties back into songs because...
Asha's the main character. I don't know if we actually said that yet.
We did, I thought.
Did we?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, between Asha and Magnifico, I don't remember any other than... Nope. I remember the goat's name.
Do you?
Valentino.
Really?
I don't know why, but I remember Asha, Valentino, and Magnifico, and those are the only 3 characters I remember.
It's because the Valentino was voiced by Alan Tudyk?
No, that's not the reason.
Okay.
But that is the only other name I remember. Other than that, I can just refer to them by the characters that they're supposed to be from other Disney films that they're ripping off.
So Asha.
Yes, sorry.
Asha is... Her weakness is that she cares too much about the people around her and she loves this kingdom.
They literally put a bow on that in the opening scene
Yes, they did, with her friend.
Yep, she's prepping for a job interview, and her friend goes, let's practice. What's your biggest weakness? You care too much. I'm like, oh my God.
The thing that annoyed me about that is that they tell, don't show. They make it just like, you care about everybody and the people. And she's like, yeah, I do. And then she tells the king, I care about people. And then the moment she sees her grandfather's wish, she's like, oh, fuck this. I only care about Granddad.
Yeah. They keep saying how much she cares and how much everything matters to her, but every time she has a chance to show it, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Like the big wish song where she's singing, I really want, I wish the kingdom had
everything. Sorry, wrong musical.
I wish the kingdom had like all the best things. Yeah, because as soon as you said wish, I'm like, more than life, more than jewels. I wish to go to the festival.
The festival?
That's a good song. Why can I not remember the main wish song from this movie, Wish?
None of the songs were good. They like try to do so much by having these melodies that weren't sticking to the standard beat and were coming in at awkward angles. So they're trying to do the Lin-Manuel Miranda thing where you're like mixing in a rap into a standard song type thing or whatever. It just doesn't work. None of it works. They're all trash songs. I even turned to you in the middle and said, you know what? This isn't a musical. This is a music video.
Yep.
It was garbage. Anyway, back on topic.
So the main song, she's singing, I wish we had better for the kingdom. I wish everybody could have their wishes. I think along those lines, maybe. And then the star appears. And she's like, yay, now you can help me get my granddad and mother's wishes back. And it's like, 5 seconds ago, you were singing about how you want to get everybody's wishes. But now you're only focused on your family?
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like maybe they hired a songwriter to do all the songs, but didn't actually think about how the songs and the story mesh together. It's like the thing that annoys me about the modern Tomb Raider games, just to go completely off tangent.
Oh, no, I think I know where you're going with this, but okay.
Where whoever wrote the cutscenes and whoever wrote the in-game dialogue didn't frickin' talk to each other, and so you have contradicting information or information that repeats. And literally scenes that repeats, like a tower explodes in a cutscene and then a tower explodes in game, and you're like, wait, that tower just exploded 5 seconds ago in this cutscene. They're not talking to each other. And it's the same in this. The songwriter and the people who worked on the scripts are not talking to each other, and so you have conflicting information where Ash is like, I want to do what's good for the people, and then 5 seconds later, I only want to do what's good for my family. Hence the selfish teenager.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't really do anything besides, she kind of gets one of the wishes, and then kind of just runs around and kind of works out in the end.
No, she gets one of the wishes, and that screws everything up, because that's when the king discovers that he can destroy wishes for power boosts.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's evil now.
Because he's evil.
So he doesn't have to protect the wishes that he's protected all these years with all of everything he can do for him.
Yeah.
He's evil now. Now he can use the wishes for power boosts, which is even better.
Yeah.
He even gets a staff. Because all the best Disney villains have staffs.
Of course they do.
It's very important.
Very important.
And then, after doing that, I gotta say, she has a very spry 100-year-old grandpa.
I mean,
I don't know how the age things work there, because...
Yeah, her granddad's 100, her mum is question mark, and she's 17.
Yeah, all we know is that there's an over 80-year difference somehow with only one generation in between.
Maybe her mum is the youngest of, 20 kids.
Maybe grandpa is just a ceremonial title, and he's great-grandpa. I have no idea. Honestly,
Best
I don't know. I just don't care. But it's pretty spy, because even after getting his wish destroyed and...
No, he absorbs...
No, his wish gets destroyed. That's the one the king comes in and grabs and...
That's her mum's.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
We only watched this 2 nights ago.
I've
already forgotten it.
I don't care.
We care enough to do a podcast.
But here's the thing that kills me though, is it's all the little misfits that we're talking about, because when she's in her interview with the king that she fucks up, that she just screws up entirely, because she immediately turns around and goes, hey, you know what? Wouldn't it be great if you just granted my granddad's wish and screw everyone else, because that would be cool? And the king's like, wow, most people have to be my apprentice for at least a couple months before they start asking for things. You didn't even get through the interview, which is a fair point on his to make. The reason why he won't grant the granddad's wish is because the granddad's wish is to make music that will inspire people.
Or just to inspire people.
To inspire. But I thought he wanted to make music too. Or
Yeah,
the Wish shows him playing music.
Yeah, shows him playing music.
So, and she's like, that doesn't seem too bad. And the king's going, that's really open-ended. What is he going to inspire? And this is the part where it's like kind of hinting at the background of the king, whatever it may be, because he's like, could he inspire a revolution? Who would the revolution be against? Yada, yada, whatever. So Granddad gets his wish back. Now we have a tyrant on the loose. Wow, maybe it's like Granddad's going to use his wish to inspire people and realize that the king didn't have to grant it and he can do it himself by acting upon what he knows his wish to be to inspire the people to turn against the king. No, that shit never happens. There's a whole bit where you have a musical number where they turn against the king and show that they are stronger together in defiance of him. Granddad doesn't play a role in that. Fuck his wish. They do use it as a post-credit scene to show him writing When You Wish Upon a Star because everything in this movie has to tie back to another Disney property. But could they use it in the actual story in a way that would make sense and in some way push forward? No. That would be way too much work.
Yeah, of course. So speaking of things that make no sense whatsoever was how they defeated the king, which ties back to a previous song.
The worst. The opening song is just bland and dreadful and horrible, but this song was just so dumb.
It was reaching, to say the least. Reaching for the stars. Anyway, so the song in question, I don't know what it's called.
You're a Star. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's going to be called You're a Star.
Do you want to look it up?
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on.
So while Wes looks that up, basically, the star comes down and starts sprinkling little magical stardust on all the animals who suddenly become sentient and can talk and are for some reason a lot smarter than Asha, and they're like, oh!
Everyone's smarter than Asha. She didn't even know what a dumbwaiter was. A dumbwaiter is smarter than Asha. The song's called I'm a Star.
I'm a Star.
I was pretty close.
Oh, you were close, yeah. So basically they're like, oh, don't you see? Everyone is connected because we're all made of stardust.
In a circle in a hoop that never ends.
Wrong film.
Damn it. I keep wanting to like jump into Disney songs, but the only ones I know are the good ones, not the Wish ones.
So the whole song is like these animals being like, hey, Asha, you dumb. It's because we're all stars. But just it feels like the reasoning behind that song and behind the whole everyone is a star felt really like,
flimsy.
Like I said, it was reaching.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, Asha's like singing to the people instead of to the stars. And she's like, I'm singing to the stars to guide me. And it's all of you people. And they're like, yeah, we're singing together and we can break this power. And it's like, huh?
Yeah.
It's so weak.
It is. You know what I kept thinking about during all those scenes?
What?
Honestly, I just kept thinking, man, Les Mis did the people rising up scene so much better than this. Just all of them. Red and Black, great song. Can you hear the people sing? Great song. When they lose and they're all dead, cafe song, empty chairs at empty tables, whatever it's called in English, I don't know. Great song. I'm a Star. Trash.
So how could we fix this film?
Okay, hold on. Before we do that, before we get into that, we've spent a little bit of time trashing this movie now.
We're very good at it.
I want us to both come up with one positive thing about it.
Okay. One
positive thing. We can do this.
Okay, I got something.
I've got one too. Go ahead.
I really like Ash's character design.
Okay.
That's it.
I
mean, the voice actor for Asha was also really good. Ash's character design and the voice actor, I think, was really good. There's nothing she could have done about the weak storyline and songs and music and everything. But I thought the acting and the character design was good.
Fair enough. My one positive thing is we trashed the city earlier for being bland and sterile and horrible.
Mm.
The village scenes outside the city walls, the set design is actually really good.
Yeah.
I just specifically remember one scene when she's running out of the house and going across this bridge over a brook or whatever. And that looked really good.
Yeah.
There was premise there. Whatever they'd done to make this new rendering engine that wasn't photorealistic, because that's the new trend, had promise if you did something with it.
I feel like maybe it's because that one looked like it had been painted.
Yeah, it did. That's probably why I liked it.
Yeah. But it didn't fit with the rest of the movie. Actually, speaking of... okay, so going back to trash it a little bit, sorry. Because I want to go back to the whole Mediterranean thing. This movie is supposed to be set in the real world. In the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
On Earth.
Presumably.
But...
which means that all Disney movies are on Earth.
But every single... like, it didn't have any identity. It didn't have a sense of place. It felt like generic fantasy land, and if they hadn't specified that they were in Europe, it felt like generic fantasy land.
Yeah.
And I actually forgot that it was supposed to be based in Europe until after we watched the film, and was like, oh wait, yeah, that's supposed to be in the Mediterranean. 2
other recent 3D Disney princess films also took place in generic Europe. Tangled and Frozen.
Yeah, but they didn't...
but they felt a lot better about it.
They also didn't pretend to be in the real world. They were just fantasy Europe.
That's true.
But
one vaguely Scandinavian and one vaguely French.
Yeah. But they didn't try to shoehorn in, hey, we're actually in a real place.
Yeah. You know a movie that takes place in the Mediterranean and is really, really good?
What?
Porco Rosso.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, I'm getting off the subject.
So
we both gave a good positive of the movie.
Yes.
Excellent.
They were able to give a sense of place in one little village, and Ash's character design was good. Not her costume design. That's another bit.
Yeah.
God, they try. Okay. So I guess before we get on to fixing this, actually, I guess one thing you can do to fix this film is not try to shoehorn every single Disney reference you can.
That'd be nice.
Because it was so blatant at parts that just took me out of the movie.
They just have Peter Pan show up in one scene.
Yeah.
And Wendy.
Kind of.
Well, the Peter Pan's blatant. The Wendy is vaguely wearing her outfit.
Yeah.
But just why?
God, the ending scene. So, like, the ending scene after they defeated the villain, and they're just, like, dropping reference after reference after reference after reference after reference, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Don't, like... You don't add handfuls of salt, you just sprinkle.
But it's 100 years of Disney!
I don't care! I want a good film! And I believe the term you used was masturbatory, which is very accurate.
That's what I said after we watched it. I was being more polite in this and calling it a love letter to past Disney films, but no, it was masturbatory. It was really bad.
So how can we fix it? I have thoughts.
I guess on a basic level is don't release a movie just because you have to for your centennial. Take the Godzilla approach and wait until you actually have a good story to make it, even if that means waiting a few years between movies.
No. We have to pump these out. Pump.
I mean, yeah, they got in the habit with Marvel.
Yeah.
But...
they got into the habit with Disney for a while as well. Like Disney
That's
movies.
true. I mean, in the 90s, there were some parts that released in 2 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. I think part of
that's what killed it.
They were releasing it pretty quick, too.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention the animated live actions adaptations.
Geez. Yeah, those two. Less said about those, the better.
I feel like this is the one film where a live action could actually improve it.
No. Let it die. An inglorious death. So actually, on that note, before we get into fixing it...
One more thing. Because they really want to rub in the fact that this is Disney's centennial, they show a bunch of Disney characters, one from each movie, over the end credits. Oh,
as little golden things. But speaking of letting movies die an inglorious death, if you watch it, you'll notice certain movies are missing. And I have no idea how they chose what to keep out and what to put in. Because there's some interesting choices about what to include compared to what was removed.
Like what?
Well, I mean, for starters, they include dinosaurs. Which is just way out there. And instantly, by including dinosaurs, it just shines a spotlight on everything else they left out. Now, some of the ones, they left out a bunch of the shorts from early in their career that are included as Walt Disney Animated, but, they're shorts. I'm okay with leaving those out. They left out everything that has a live action component. Mm-hmm. So, Pete's Dragon... Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Mary Poppins, all those types were left out.
That's fair enough.
They left out every sequel, so sequels weren't included, which is fine. They left out The Rescuers.
Which is not fine.
Which is a weird choice. They left out The Black Cauldron.
Which is not fine.
They included pretty much everything from the past 2 decades, except for Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah, that's actually fair enough.
And you may say Meet the Robinsons is a bad movie and that's fine to leave it out, but they included Chicken Little, they included Bolt, they included dinosaurs.
Honestly, I do think, as related to that, I think dinosaurs is still worse than Wish.
I never actually saw dinosaurs, so I'm okay with that.
Really?
I'm okay with that.
No, I thought we watched it together, and we were like, what the heck was that?
Nope. We watched The Good Dinosaur by Pixar. Different
movie. Oh, no, you're right. I take it back. The Good Dinosaur is worse than Wish.
Yeah.
I got those two.
That was Pixar. They didn't include any Pixar. And then the other weird thing to go through it is to see, so they only include, I was going to say only, but then for Zootopia, they broke the rule. And for Lady and the Tramp. For most movies, they only include one character. Except for, as I said, Lady and the Tramp, where you get Lady and the Tramp. And Zootopia, where you get your propaganda with Judy and Nick. But then for most other movies, they include exactly the character that you're thinking of, except for a few.
Big Hero 6.
Like Big Hero 6, they have the villain, which no one knows his name, because the only character anyone remembers from that is Baymax. Maleficent over Sleeping Beauty, because fuck her, she's in the title. She doesn't get to be in this movie.
Oh, Yzma instead of
anyone else remembers New Groove, which is fine. She's the best character, and she's voiced by Eartha Kitt.
She is, but every single character in that end role was like...
Mostly the heroes, except for a few, as we're saying.
Yeah.
They choose Merlin instead of Arthur.
I guess he's a little more iconic.
They choose the Splat because they want to sell more merchandise of that from Strange World instead of any of the actual human characters.
Oh, I didn't know.
None of the human characters matter. They only mattered so long as we were trying to sell the movie and we could pass off another Disney's first gay character. But now that that's gone, merchandise the cute one. And I think they included the villain from Raya and the Last Dragon. But I'm not entirely sure because I can't remember which was the hero and which was the villain entirely based on looks alone. Because that's another movie I'm trying to forget.
I think it was the hero. I think it was Raya.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the villain.
No, it was Raya because she had a big hat.
No, she didn't.
Oh, I thought she did.
No hat.
Oh, maybe it was the villain.
I don't know. That's another movie I'm trying to forget, so I'm not going to go back and check. But so I guess what I'm saying is, so long as Disney is willing to confine movies to the bin of, please forget we ever made this, we might as well just put Wish straight in there.
I don't think they're going to want to. I think they're going to try and gaslight everybody and convince them that this was a good film.
It wasn't, though.
Yeah, I know. So how I'd fix it.
Right. Sorry, we're going to get back on topic here and do our best to fix a train wreck.
Yeah. So my thought is the villain's backstory was unclear. It was vague.
It was bad.
Yeah. Make that a lot clearer. Give him clearer motivation for why he does the things he does. And honestly, make the film about how power corrupts. Like maybe he started this whole thing with good intentions, but slowly over time got addicted to the power of being a handsome, wonderful king that everybody loves. And then he uses his magic to basically control people, shut down people who talk up against him. But, the Elon Musk approach. And then you have a good villain. It's
just let him be a villain from the beginning.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't have to be out about it, but he can be sinister.
Yes.
Like, you didn't know Gaston was a villain from the opening song.
Oh, but you could tell.
But you could tell.
Yeah.
You didn't know Dr. Facilier was going to be the villain, but when you saw him in the background...
You could tell.
You could tell.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, but
Lady Tremaine...
But a good villain normally has a reason for why they do the thing they do. I know Maleficent doesn't, because
greed,
she's just evil.
Lust for power.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe he did...
All the forces of hell.
So maybe he did have good intentions, and then just over time doesn't anymore.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
And then you actually have a threat to, like, uncover. Like, there was this... Oh, the Rebellion song is, like, knowing what I know now, I'm gonna rebel. And it's like he's been evil for a day. Whereas if he had been evil for a long time and you're like, oh, I'm uncovering this big conspiracy, that would make more sense.
Also, just, you want to make a musical out of it, do it in the music. He sings this big duet that I guess some people are saying from the art book was originally supposed to be a love song between Asha and someone else. But he sings this big duet with Asha in the middle of their job interview. Make his lyrics creepy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be out and about, I'm evil and I'm sinister and all this, but make them creepy.
Or hint in the animation, because that's what they did in Frozen when, I can't remember, the prince is, Hans is singing about how he wants a place of his own and he wants all these things, and you can see when you rewatch it in his body language and the way he like sings and interacts with her, that he's totally trying to manipulate Anna and is after her kingdom.
Yeah.
You can tell when you look at it again, but in Wish,
he's sincere.
He's sincere.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy.
He's just a good guy. Just let him be evil.
Make him evil.
You know what I'd do?
What?
Also along this line? I'd give him the staff from the get-go. I want him to have that staff because I like the staff.
This is a nice staff.
Well, also because I think that you could do a lot with it. I also don't like the fact that he's completely ignorant about the star coming down. I think if this is a guy who's obsessed with wishes and knows the damage they can cause and all this, and he's got all this research into sorcery and whatever. I mean, the fact that they're calling it sorcery, I guess, should have been a clue because Disney only uses that word for villains. But
oh no, the Sorcerer's Apprentice. The Sorcerer isn't.
Oh, that's true, but he's still.
I think they called him the Sorcerer so they could make the reference to Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, everything in this movie has no identity of its own.
So I guess just to give some context, when the star falls, he like freaks out for no reason whatsoever, and he's like, I don't know what this is.
That's his final push to go evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he should know. He should know what it is. He should know about stars. He should know about wishes and all this, and he should have a staff of his own. And during your big final triumphant thing, when his staff is broken, like it is in the movie, it should reveal the fact that part of his backstory is he wished on a star and he got a star and he already trapped it in his staff. Because the whole reason he makes a staff is to trap the star that she gets. They should break that and reveal that there's a star and he's been abusing the power of a star this whole time to do all these evil things he's doing.
Which would explain why he has magical powers. Which would explain why
he has this obsession with wishes. It would just actually make him evil. It would give him an extended period of doing wrong.
Yeah.
Which makes it...
more than a day.
It makes it feel better about defeating him. And therefore people being okay instead of just instantly dismissive of, he read a book I don't like. He deserves to suffer. Like, what is this bullshit? That would be my change on there. I guess our big change is give us an actual villain, please.
Yeah. I guess also make Asha not selfish.
That'd be nice.
Like, make her actually care about the people, which would be easier if you had a villain who was actually villainous.
Yeah.
And also, maybe, like...
or just don't front about it. Like, it's okay for a 17-year-old to focus on her family. I'm okay with that.
And maybe through character growth, she realizes that she needs to care more about...
yeah, but I mean, that's Belle's whole thing, is she cares about her dad. Yeah. Everything she does is trying to help her dad, and then eventually the Beast and the other people in the castle. That's fine.
Yeah, because up to that point, she's like, screw this village, I hate this place.
Yeah, but she doesn't pretend otherwise. There's no pretext.
Yeah. Because Belle is a good heroine.
But really kind of odd.
A beauty, but a funny one. That Belle.
Anyway.
I wanted to like this film. I'm disappointed by it.
Yeah, ditto. And I guess part of the problem is when you make something that has no identity of its own, all of your reference to other Disney products are just going to remind me of things I like more than this.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking about things I like more than this, I'm thinking about how much I don't like this even more. It's like reverse feedback.
Yeah. Like the problem with the live actions.
Every time you watch live action, I'm just going, man, I really like the animated version of this. Why am I not just watching that again instead of watching this garbage?
Yeah.
And so when I'm watching this, I'm going, man, I really don't care about this movie, but look at all these references to things I do care about. It doesn't make me like this product more. It just makes me want to go watch the things I care about and be done with this. Which, after this podcast, I will be. So, we talked about what we didn't like, why we didn't like it, how it didn't work. And then before we could talk about how to fix it, we went off on some more tangents about things we didn't like and why they didn't work either.
Yes.
But then we did talk about what we did like briefly, and we talked about how we would have fixed it.
Yes.
I think that's all she wrote about Wish.
Who wrote about what now?
Clearly nobody wrote anything because the movie was just slapdash put together by drawing names from a hat from old Disney movies. But I think we're done with it.
Yep. Goodbye, Wish.
Goodbye, Wish. That's my wish. If you made it this far listening to us rant about the latest Disney movie, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
This has been another episode of Otafu Susume, our recommendations for My Otaku Spouse.
I was Jen.
I was Wesley. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.